Have you ever experimented with these TikTok life hacks like peeling an apple with a power drill, dropping an egg into a pan be the way to get a perfect crack every time, or using a giant syringe filled with pomegranate seeds and squeezing to bring you some fresh juice? Let's know now these viral TikTok hacks actually work. Instant juices. Do you want to know a cheat code for instant pomegranate juice, courtesy of TikTok? Well, apparently, you just need to grab a giant syringe, fill it with pomegranate seeds, and squeeze it. Well, honestly, sometimes this one wouldn't work, but with a little elbow grease, well, see for yourself. As you can see, it works pretty much perfectly. Be that as it may, hacks should make your life easier, and with ready-made pomegranate juice available at most retailers, I can't help but think this is a bit of a gimmick. Still, it does work, and is incredibly fun, even if you don't get a huge amount of liquid, though. Okay, on to the next. Did you know you've probably been using ketchup wrong? That is, at least according to this TikTok hack, which claims the best way to get Heinz ketchup out of a glass bottle isn't to vigorously shake and spank its bottom, but actually to karate chop the little 57 at the base of the bottle's neck. This is a pressure point that will shake the inside liquid loose at the perfect, low-pressure angle for an easy flow of ketchup. Now, of course, being a black belt in karate, our masters put lethal chops to good use, and sure enough, this hack worked perfectly. Once again proving there's no problem that a karate chop cannot solve except maybe your boss. All in all, though, similarly, you may also have been pouring your juice wrong. Sounds crazy, but it turns out there is a right and wrong way of dispensing your OJ. Like most people, I'm sure when you pour juice straight out of the carton it probably looks something like this. However, as you can see, this causes the juice to glug its way out, which can cause unsolicited splashback. So, how do you avoid this? Well, according to TikTok, it's simple. Just turn the carton upside down. As you can see, with just this little alteration, the juice effortlessly flows out. The reason why is actually pretty fascinating. When pouring the usual way, the weight of the liquid inside the carton forces it out of the spout as quickly as it can, leaving little room for air to escape the hole, creating a tsunami of choppy liquid. Flipping the carton upside down creates a gap in the spout that lets air flow in and out as the liquid pours, keeping the pressure smooth and neutral, and the liquid flowing perfectly. Eggy hacks. Up next, let's crack open an egg-based piece of ingenuity. If you've ever tried to separate an egg yolk from the egg white, you'll know just how slippery those little suckers can be. You probably think, if only there were a viral TikTok life hack that could make separating egg yolks a breeze. Oh wait, there is. As seen on the old Tickety Talk, simply rub your fingers on a clove of garlic and yoink that yolk right out of there. Looks simple enough, but just how well does it actually work? Let's give it a try. Crack the egg into a bowl and rub a clove of finely chopped garlic onto your fingertips. What this essentially did was make fingers sticky thanks to allicin, which, FYI, is a sulfur-containing chemical in garlic that not only makes it sticky, but stinky too. It would release more of the sticky chemicals required to grip the yolk. Did seem to do the trick. Right, so, what's the secret to pulling this off more smoothly? Well, after diving a little deeper, I found that while the chemicals in garlic do increase the level of friction between your fingers and the yolk, pulling the yolk out without breaking it really depends on the quality of the egg. You see, egg yolks have something called a vitelline membrane. This, essentially, is a multi-layered structure that protects the egg yolk and keeps it separate from the egg white. A healthier, fresher egg will have a thicker vitelline membrane, enabling its yolk to be picked up with a lower chance of bursting. Okay, you may be thinking, does anyone know a life hack to get the stench of garlic off their fingers? Never fear, though, for I have another egg yolk separating hack that I promise is much easier and less smelly. According to the TikTok hack, all you need to do is grab an empty plastic water bottle, squeeze the air out, and place it over the yolk. As you release your squeeze, the bottle will replicate a vacuum and suck the yolk up, seamlessly separating it from the white. See, much simpler and easier. Considering its practicality and ease of use, you'll want to keep it in your egg basket. Yolks aside, I have one last extraordinary life hack that'll give you the perfect crack every time, and the solution may be been hiding in plain sight. Yep, apparently you can get the perfect crack with no tiny loose shell fragments by simply dropping your egg into the pan. That's it. No tools, no real technique. Just drop. So, let's see how this pans out. Now, admittedly it did take a few attempts.
Okay.
But then, just as I thought all my hopes had withered away, the moment finally came. The egg cracked with no shell fragments. A solitary tear rolled down my cheek, and it seemed as if my life finally had meaning. Now, while of course, the hack did eventually work, I wasted 4 eggs in its pursuit. Seems to me this is more of a game of luck than a hack. Apple hacks. Do you know apple skin is a powerhouse of vitamins and minerals, namely vitamins A, C, K, potassium, and calcium? Many prefer their Granny Smiths and Pink Ladies peeled. Still, peeling can be a relatively arduous process. So, it's just as well that I have a life hack that'll solve all your peeling problems. Pretty cool, right? Word on TikTok is that if you attach your apple to a drill and hold a peeler up to it, it'll be skinless in no time. So let's try it out. Now, as you can see, it eventually started to gain traction and somewhat peel the apple, though not exactly with the same ease as the original TikTok. Now you may have spotted something that took me a while to pick up on. Many of the most successful TikToks on this topic don't use regular drill bits, they use flat-headed wide bits that afford a way better grip inside the apple. So, after getting hands-on, the hacks seemed to be way more effective, and we could press the peeler more firmly against the surface without the drill slipping loose inside. Sure, the execution still wasn't super smooth, but after a few trials and errors, it has the potential to be extremely efficient in peeling your apples. Alternatively, you could just be a big boy and eat your apples with the peel. Now, if you, like these TikTokers, who have accidentally peeled a stupid amount of apples, due to the fun drill hack, then you'll be pleased to know there's a simple way to preserve them. It's no secret that an exposed apple will go from white and juicy to brown and dry in no time, but why is this? Well, it's actually due to enzymes in the apple that, when exposed to air, convert chemicals known as polyphenols into melanin, which, similar to melanin's role in human skin, causes the apple to brown. But, as I learned from TikTok and tested myself, with just salt and water, you can keep apples fresh and juicy for hours. How so? Well, salt water's sodium content acts as a natural preservative, and once apple slices are coated in it, they're given additional protection from oxygen even when removed from the saltwater bath. As a result, less drying and browning occurs. I tried and can confirm the apples don't even taste like salt either. Household hacks. Picture this, you're kicking back while watching some TV when you realize the remote batteries are dead. In your desperate search for batteries, you scavenge through the assorted crap cabinet in your kitchen, but can only find batteries that are too small. Will you admit defeat and spend the rest of the evening living like an Amish person? Or will you embrace TikTok's wacky solution? See, TikTokers claim if you have a battery that's too small for your remote, you can just place it in the remote anyway and bridge the gap with a small ball of foil. As you can see, I tested and can confirm your remote will be up and running again in a zap. Now, given the low amp rating and voltage of TV remotes, this isn't the most dangerous thing in the world, but it's typically not a great idea to get creative with consumer electronics, so only use this on a short-term emergency basis, just to be safe. Still, great to know, right? The phone hacks I'm about to jailbreak out from the tough streets of TikTok will only make life better. Say you're reorganizing your apps on an iPhone and you want to move a bunch of them from one page to another. Going back and forth to grab each app individually can be a tedious process. But, really, all you have to do is hold on to one of the apps you want to move to whilst simultaneously selecting the other ones you want to move to. As you do, all the selected apps will flock together, allowing you to move them all in one go. Pretty neat. And on that note, another handy iPhone tip is here for you, courtesy of the TikTokers. If you've ever taken a screenshot and wanted to annotate it, you'll know how difficult it can be to draw neatly with your finger on such a small screen. So it's just as well that whilst drawing shapes and arrows, you can hold your finger on the screen afterward, which will transform your annotations into uniform shapes. Magic, right? Okay, so while the iPhone 5S first introduced Touch ID, and the iPhone 10, Face ID, it still isn't possible to unlock your phone with just your voice, right? Or so you thought, until once again, TikTok proved wrong with a super weird little trick. What I'm about to show you will allow you to command your phone to unlock with just your voice. First, start by marking your passcode with something temporary, for example, a lip balm or gloss. Then, go on into Settings, and Accessibility, and flip the voice control switch on. After that, go to Customize Commands and type out a new command, such as Please unlock my phone. Next, select Action and then run Custom Gesture. Here's where the passcode marking comes in. You're then going to want to retrace your passcode using the markings and then click Save. All that's left to do is lock your phone, swipe up the passcode page, say Please unlock my phone, and watch as the magic happens. This causes the screen to automate the touch response it would have received from you entering your passcode, and therefore allows you to unlock it without touching it at all. Now, while this hack definitely works, I can't help but think Face ID or typing in your passcode is much quicker and easier. You still have to swipe up the passcode page in order for this to work, so it isn't truly exclusively voice controlled. That said, it does technically work, and it feels pretty cool, right? Cheesy and fruity hacks. Here's the TikTok clip in question, which shows how you can extract a watermelon's flesh ready for slicing into bite-sized pieces, using just an empty Pringles tube. Seems too good to be true, but incredibly, it really works. As you can see, the whole Pringles tube usage isn't quite as smooth as portrayed in many of the original TikToks, but on the whole, the hack did, in fact, work. That said, it wasn't super easy, quick, or convenient, so it's looking like a semi-respectable. But if you're in the mood to pry the guts out of more fruits, then take a look at this next TikTok either. Yep, simply take a straw and push it through the center of a strawberry, and you'll be left with a satisfying stemless straw. It can be pretty difficult to gauge where exactly the center of the strawberry is, as you see. No, try it out yourself and comment down below. That said, once you get the hang of it, it is incredibly satisfying. Onto a little snack now, and according to TikTok there's a little known, super easy, and super cool looking way to use cheese in a can on your crackers. Rather than squeezing it on top like an amateur, this hack suggests you wedge your cracker onto the nozzle and watch as the cheese piles up perfectly in a circle, or so, that's the idea. Now, when you try this, it was initially hopeful, but, as you can see, it seemed to just create a messy mound of cheese, as opposed to an aesthetic swirl. And while through numerous attempts, the idea behind this hack somewhat works, the execution is. So, given how easy it is by comparison to just squirt cheese directly onto the cracker, the taste of the cheese and crackers, anyway, is delicious. As the great Vanilla Ice once said,
Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention.
Ice is back with a brand new invention. Or rather, per today's video theme, TikTok's back with some brand new ice life hacks. Are you as mind blown as I was to find out that ice can instantly stop a pan from boiling over? It probably seems pretty obvious now that I mention it, as of course a chilly ice cube will lower the overall temperature of the water and reduce the boiling, but it's still something you'd never considered doing, until now. As you can see, it does the trick perfectly, but here's a freebie. Not only can ice prevent your pan from boiling over, it also does a great job of keeping your cereal nice and crunchy. Because materials tend to dissolve slower in cold water, and cereal growing soggy is essentially a very slow dissolving process, adding ice into your cereal means that it will stay crunchier for longer. You can even use frozen cubes of milk to avoid diluting the milk with water, if you want to get all fancy. Chicky hacks. Chicken breast is a lean protein machine, which is of course essential if you want to be a strapping hunk like me. However, we all know how unappetizing the gristly tendons inside can be. So here's a TikTok hack to say sayonara to those sinewy little rascals. Apparently, you just need to place the tendon between a fork's prongs, grab it with a paper towel, and quickly yank it through the fork, removing the entire tendon. That's all good and well, but is it really as easy as it looks? After all, lots of these TikTok life hacks just rely on capturing one good take, rather than being repeatably useful. While there is certainly a knack to it, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty satisfying. Let me know in the comments which hacks you'll be implementing into your daily life, and also if there are any other life hacks you know, be sure to share it. Until next time.
Ice.